Hello, my friends, and welcome to our virtual celebration. I'm just so grateful that you are part of our community. I'm grateful that you have come to visit. I hope you find peace, insight. I hope you're a little challenged, but I also hope that you're comforted. And above all, I'm just grateful that your life, this one life, converges together. And so please enjoy.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get tough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll play your part. Oh, when darkness comes and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on high. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. And if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will ease your mind. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will ease your mind. That's what we do here at Hilltop. Welcome. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Good morning. Thank you for that. What a, gosh. That was from Bookends, right? Bookends? 1970, probably. For those keeping score. Half of you weren't even born then. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday celebration here at Hilltop Center for Spiritual Living and out there in the virtual world. It's so nice having all of you guys here today. I thought of you, and wasn't Reverend Angela amazing last week for those of you? I am so happy she's in town back, and her husband, Dr. Sunny. Pretty doggone good, huh? So you'll have to meet Sunny, and we'll get them in the rotation. So I think I want to do announcements before we pray in, only because there's a lot of them here, and if I don't, I'm going to forget them. And there's a lot of moving parts here. And anyway, it's good to be back too. I had a lovely time. We had a lovely time in Kauai. It was good. I'll talk a little bit about that in my talk. I don't want to say anything about Kauai quite yet. But I want to talk about our announcements. So probably the first one to know about is Tim Braun, which is in October. I'll talk slowly now so Michelle can get the slide up. Tim Braun, there he is, yes. Spirit Cafe, it's not Spirit Circle, not Spirit Cafe, that's something different. He's pretty remarkable. He's like the real deal. And if you've not had an opportunity to be in one of those circles, they're pretty amazing. So that's happening on October 15th. And then, respectively, in that this coming Wednesday is our gift shop, Open Mind Gift Shop, is doing a ribbon cutting ceremony at 4 p.m. With the chamber. It's a big deal. So if you guys are free at 4 o'clock, come by. There'll be some munchies. There'll be some beverages, and get a chance to see it. If you haven't been in the gift shop, I know Annie was working there all day yesterday. It's looking really good. There's all kinds of cool stuff in there. So please check that out. And then also, Annie and Sherry, welcome down from Oregon, Sherry and Howard. Are going to be doing a class based on the work of Eric Butterworth, who is like the premier guy on spiritual economics, and that's coming down the line. Either one of you guys want to say anything about that? You want to come up and say anything about that?
Yes, she does.
Okay, good. As a matter of fact. Okay.
And then as we learned, we have to do this. Woo, look at that. Wow. Dueling divas.
Hello. Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's this Thursday. So we need you to come this Thursday. It's nowhere to go. It's on Zoom. It's from 6:30?
Yeah.
6:30 to 8, or maybe 6 to 8, something like that.
And
it's
there's
6
a
o'clock.
Sign-up sheet out there.
Spiritual economics.
Please
Eric Butterworth.
sign up ahead of time because there's a little reading to do before the first class.
Oh, by the way.
Because we're scrunching a 8-week class into a 6-week class for you. So, and then we'll
Say
send
something
you
delicious about
the
it.
workbook that goes along with it. So you get a workbook too. Say something delicious.
As I was reading it, the experience of abundance is so profound, and it really kind of changes your psyche a little bit. It changes your heart energy because it's about life, and it's about the abundance of life.
Correct. So it's not just money. Spiritual economics is not just about money. It's about your life. So you can step into the flow of relationships and career and love and health.
And it's really great for the virtual
Yeah.
because it's on Zoom.
Yeah. The last time I did it, I'll say, the last time I did it on Zoom, we had people from New York, Colorado, Montana, Oklahoma, and Oregon. So, you get to meet some awesome, wonderful people that maybe you wouldn't get to meet. So come join us, sign up. If you have any questions, tag me or
Hunt them down. Fabulous. Okay, so the next thing that relates to us here is we're going to be having a very special meeting October 9th after our service, a town hall meeting. It's been a long time since we've gathered. There's a lot of things coming down the road. We're at a crossroads as far as our community is, not in a terrible or a bad way, but at a crossroads. And in an effort to be transparent, to be exciting, to be enrolling in all those things that are going on, it's really important that you please make an effort to come. And if anybody that you haven't seen in a while here on Sunday, but you're still in communication with them, please invite them. It's a big deal. It's an important thing. caveat, nothing, nothing, how do I say, I don't want to create fear because there's no fear to be had. But there's important news to talk about, and that will be on October 9th. That should be just to spark your interest. So let's see. The other thing that's going on is today at 2 o'clock is the Fallbrook Music Society is having the Hutchinson Group play. Those concerts are free, and they are at the Mission Theater, and they're always fabulous and good to see. And then finally, tomorrow night, the Toastmasters group is having a very special guest. Carol, I think you were going to say something about that. You may use the mic.
Yes, if there weren't enough going on for you wonderful people in Fallbrook, tomorrow night, the Toastmasters is expanding our skills in interviewing. And we have Eileen Delaney, who has been a longtime resident and currently the president of the Planning Commission. And she will be our guest at Toastmasters, and we will be asking her questions about the history of Fallbrook and probably new things like the Dark Sky Initiative. So please, you're welcome to come. We meet at the Historical Society in the Ford Room, free of charge. Come about 6:45, and we are done at 8:30. We'd love to have you visit.
Thank you.
Oh, and Paul and I have cards if you want to get the information so you have it in a written form. Thank you.
Okay, any other announcements?
I have one.
Who's we? I. Oh, Kathy has an announcement. Yes.
Our next biohacking event is going to be here on Saturday. They had a misstep in scheduling at Seaside, so
It's going to be here?
yes.
Cool.
We have 3 different doctors, speaking, so all the fun stuff, different people will be here. Anybody's interested, come see me after.
Okay, so that's exciting news.
Saturday, 12 to 5.
This coming Saturday. Okay, so I just have to say that the last event that these guys had, I was introduced to this guy, Dr. Porter, who does this thing called brain tapping. Amazing, life-changing. Been using it, phenomenal. There's cool toys to play in. You stand on these things and they vibrate and give you light and do all these other kinds of stuff. It's kind of a playground of biohacking things. So it's a really cool deal. And I'm really sorry it's not in Seaside, but I'm thrilled that it's just down the street and I can go. Cool. All right. Anything else? Let's get this show on the road. Laura, how are you, my dear? Da-da-da. You want to pray us in and get us going?
I would love to.
Please pray.
All right. Let's everyone get comfortable. 2 feet on the ground. Taking a nice deep, deep breath and a long breath out. Be here now, surrounded by loved ones. God is here in us, as us. The love that flows through us radiates and shines through our smiles, through our eyes, and through our actions. This morning, practitioner and prayer is here for you. Beautiful music from Lee is here for you. Reverend Dr. Guy's wisdom is here for us this morning, bringing us positive spiritual tools to live by and to enhance our lives in every way, to be the best being we can be. I know without a doubt that we have in us all the answers and everything we need. And the message this morning will bring that out, revive, and remind us how special and unique we are. What beautiful souls we are. Let us love the world into love and harmony, and let us enjoy our lives from here on out using positive thoughts and actions. In awe and gratitude, I release these truths into law of mind, knowing all is well. And together we say, and so it is. I don't have everything over there. All right. Next is our quote for the day by Elizabeth Prophet. I am God's perfection manifest in body, mind, and soul. I am God's direction flowing to heal and keep me whole. Oh, atoms, cells, electrons within this form of mine, let heaven's own perfection remind me I am divine. And now we're going to move into a 3-minute contemplation. Let's relax our minds, rest our hearts, raising ourselves to a higher vibration, allowing the goodness to flow within and to our friends and families.
So it is.
knew the you that you don't know, you'd love yourself from head to toe. You'd never be too sad or low if you knew the you that you don't know. If you saw the you that you don't see, you would feel so differently. You'd be as happy as can be if you saw the you that you don't see. They'd say, what a human, what a friend. You say, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you heard the you that you don't hear, all the doubt would disappear. 'Cause you're so charming and sincere. Yeah, the you that you don't hear. What a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know, you may not see it for yourself. It's just everybody else. When the earth is old and cold and gray, and we're out beyond the Milky Way, who shall lead humanity? Well, I'd send the you that you don't see. And they'll say, what a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know, just how the people love you so, yeah. If you knew the you that you don't know, if you knew the you that you don't know, if you knew the you that you don't know. Don't forget it. Please welcome Dr. Reverend Guy. Welcome back, Doc.
Just love when you do that song. There was this weekend I had an opportunity to teach in the School of Ministry, and I teach, one of the classes that I teach in the School of Ministry is the Metaphysical Bible. I love teaching the Metaphysical Bible. Would you guys be interested in the Metaphysical Bible if I ever taught a class here? Okay, good to know that. I'll keep that in my little list of things to see and do here. So anyway, the song reminded me of one of the women, one of the students in the class. Her favorite saying is, "Know the truth, and it will set you free." Kind of like if you knew the truth, if you knew the you that you don't know, if you knew the truth, it would set you free. So the question then I asked her, as I said, well, what does that mean? What does that mean, know the truth? Is it like there's a magic key or code? Is there something to discover? And we spend our life looking for it like the Holy Grail, and then it gives us this idea of freedom from what or to do. So I played with it for a while because, you know, if you look at the words, what they mean, and if you were basically to translate that, it would essentially come down to, if you were awake, you would have agency. Because in Greek, the word for truth is a word called aletheia, and the Gospel of John was written in Greek. All the Gospels were written in Greek. And so the word is aletheia, which means to not forget, as in lethargy, or the river Leth. The river Leth in Greek mythology is when souls are born, they cross over this river. We all cross over this river, according to the Greek mythology. And we enter into this world in a state of amnesia. And it's all about waking up, remembering. And if we're awake, we have freedom, because if we are asleep, we're kind of in bondage. We're kind of going through an ignorance. So if you knew the truth that you don't know, if you were awake, you would have agency, ability, expansion, curiosity. I just think that's kind of a cool thought. And had nothing to do with my talk, but it kind of has something to do with my talk. But I just love when you did that song. And now to try to make another segue to kind of like to start the talk, which is to talk about two things. So, because then I'll go into the biohacking thing too, which is about how the mind works. Because I'm always fascinated how first of all, I just think it's remarkable that we have the capacity to communicate with each other, to talk, to do things. Not only that, just life itself is such an incredible miracle at every level. You know, coming home from Hawaii and watching our dogs so excited. First of all, coming back from Hawaii, do you know what that means? It means sitting in a tube and flying through the air and landing someplace else, you know, in a matter of hours that it used to take other people like weeks or months to do. So anyway, I'm kind of in that mode. And two things have just been images in my mind that have been leading me to think about a couple things. And the first one has to do with being in Kauai, which was a lovely time, and it was a lovely trip, and we saw people that we knew and loved, and it was all good. But the thing that stands out the most is one evening we were on the North Shore and saw the starry world, the canopy of heaven, as I've never seen it before. Just maybe in Wyoming once, but there's a level of absence of light that causes the canopy of heaven to stand out in a place that catches your breath, caught my breath. It moved me into this place of amazement and wonder and awe to see this vastness that just lures you into it. And, you know, it got me thinking about things, you know, thinking about this, you know, sitting in a tube and flying through the air kind of thing. It's like, when we were going to Hawaii, I had a thought. Michelle and I have these crazy thoughts about airplanes that we know are totally illogical, but we have them anyways. Like, I generally don't sleep on airplanes because I think that they're going to ask me to fly the plane, so I need to stay alert, sober. I know that's never going to happen, but you know how your mind does kind of goofy things. But this other thing is like, how did they find Hawaii in the air? Meaning, how easy it would be. It's a tiny little island in this huge ocean. And I know that they have navigation and they can do it, but it just amazes me that you get someplace. But I thought about that in Hawaii because, you know, in this wide open sea, how these islands were discovered is that people got into dugout canoes and paddled hundreds, if not thousands of miles and found these islands, and then went back to their other island, and then went back to this island. And they didn't have GPS, they don't have cell phones, they didn't even have compasses. But they were so in tune to the land itself, the ocean itself, the body itself, that they were able to navigate through the starry world, through the movement of waves, through, you know, some say talking to the sea and to the creatures that are in the sea. But there was this capacity of navigation, of being able to do these kinds of things, this level of agency, of being so awake, so attuned to something, it's quite miraculous. And it's not just the Polynesians, because all of our ancestors lived in a world where they saw the starry world all the time. All of our mythology is built on this. Our concept of reality is grounded in our ability to experience ourself. This capacity to fully occupy the space that we occupy, and to feel a sense of connection to it. And so we built so much of our world around that. In fact, this evening begins Rosh Hashanah, Jewish New Year, which is based on a lunar calendar that the ancient Hebrews used as they navigated the starry world, which is all about Rosh Hashanah means, the head of the year. It's the beginning of the year. And it's kind of like our ecclesiastical year too. We begin our annual theme in September, generally to go along with this idea of new year, new beginnings, something happening. And what's really cool, I think, about Rosh Hashanah is it's not just the new year, but it's the birthday of the universe. Isn't that a thought? That because, before there was time, before there was a universe, there wasn't time. There was something called the singularity, which I don't even know what that means, something to the effect of the laws of physics just don't apply. But I don't think that it started. Who knows when it started? We can't say that it started because there was no time when it started. And it had to be created before there could be time. But and I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, because I'm watching myself go down that rabbit hole. But just this idea that we celebrate a participation in an ever-evolving, ever-awakening universe in which we are part of it. And, here it is a new moon, and here it is New Year's. And New Year's is a time, in this culture, in Rosh Hashanah, it's the 10 days of awe and wonder and amazement to contemplate the year that is passing, and to set navigation to the year that we're going. And so it's appropriate for all of us to think about, where am I? Where am I? And where do I think I'm going? And I don't know about you, but I certainly feel like I'm at a crossroads in my life. I really do. And what I sense is I'm not alone in this. And I also know that our community is at a crossroads. Crossroads aren't bad things. They just simply mean that there's something else that's wanting to emerge. They can be scary because change is always scary. And often at a crossroads, I was doing a reading on the I Ching on kind of this crossroads that I'm at, and it was really interesting because the image that it created, it says, like a dry lake bed with crows. That sense of, if you feel that sense of depletion or that sense of confusion or that sense that something is missing, it's easy to have these external things pick at you, Do you know what I'm talking about? It's kind of like if you're distracted, if you're not fully occupying the space that you're occupying, it's really easy to see these little external things become bothersome. And I think that they become bothersome because we sometimes don't know where we're going. But what I said 2 weeks ago is, I think the most powerful, I know for myself, the most powerful words, the most powerful mantra for me when I'm entering into the creative process is to say, I don't know. I don't know. Because when I can say that and feel it in my body, I don't know. I'm teachable. I'm no longer in judgment. But I'm curious. I'm open. I'm expansive. And something else can come along. Wendell Berry says it this way. He says, it may be that when we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. when we don't know where we're going, sometimes it's the beginning of the journey. Because everything else has sort of been structured and organized around a thought, a belief, an idea, and we're so good at that. Are we not at trying to hold everything within a certain parameter of how it's supposed to be? And then something comes along, and how it was supposed to be isn't how it is. And then the fun begins. Because, then we're open to something else, a new thought, a new way of being, and what we're going to do and where that's going to be. And that brings me to this second image that's sitting in my mind. So I was going through Twitter the other day, and I saw this short film clip, and it had to do with a restaurant in Brazil. It was a security camera that was looking at this outside restaurant where these people were sitting. And what had happened is that a CrossFit group, y'all know what CrossFit is? It's like they're exercise programs and clubs, and they meet in certain different places. Anyway, this CrossFit group all decided to get up and go take a run. And they ran by this restaurant. And everybody in the restaurant got up and ran with them because they didn't know what was going on, and they figured So you see these people running by, and then you see everybody in the restaurant get up and leaving their plates and everything, and they're running with, no one knows where they're going. They don't even know when they're running from or to. They just don't want to, Søren Kierkegaard says it this way. He says, the majority of people are not so afraid of holding a wrong opinion as they are of holding an opinion alone. Let me say that again. The majority of people are not so afraid of holding a wrong opinion as they are of holding an opinion alone. We're like lemmings, right? It's like, if everybody's running, I need to be running with them. In New Thought, we call that the collective consciousness, the group mind. It's the mind that when we are asleep is the one that's thinking through us. And we all participate in that in some way or another. Because there needs to be, it's important to have a certain level of vigilance. Because if we're not thinking, someone or something is thinking through us. And we all know when it happens because we start talking in terms that are very global, like, well, all those fill in the blank are this fill in the blank. All men are, all women are, all these people or that people or this, they're that, they're that. And it's the group conscious. And the group conscious is simply always responding, to it's always reacting. It's a restaurant of people sitting around having a delightful time, totally unconscious of what they're doing. Yes, I'll have another glass of wine, blah, 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 blah. And a group of people run by and everybody gets up and runs with them without thinking why. But how many other times do any of us in this room find ourselves doing something, maybe not quite as absurd, but only by degree, just as goofy? Jumping up, running to a conclusion, finding something, all worked up about something that we haven't even thought through. So, as Kierkegaard said, it's this fear not so much of having a wrong opinion, but having our own opinion. Because, that's the thing about being human, is our own agency, our own sense of being. And the courage to live our life, to fully occupy the space that we're occupying, and what that looks like and what that feels like. And it's scary because we're afraid and probably will fail. How many of you have ever failed in your life? How many people have failed big? Big, like lost a car or a business or a relationship or something like that. Failed big, yeah. The bigger, the better. What they usually, What the I Ching says is this. It says, to never fail in life is to fail in the biggest way. That's your mantra for the week. Breathe that one in. To never have failed, to never fail in life is to fail in the biggest way. Why is that? Because you don't risk. You don't step out of your comfort zone. Of course, we have this whole morality in our competitive society about success and failure. But I like to term it like this. It's not so much in life there's success and failure, but there's sweet and sour, right? There are different flavors about life. If you take the morality out of it, the best lessons we've ever learned have been when we have failed. When we're successful, we're just kind of going along with anything. We're not really processing much. But when we fail at something, we stop and look, and that's how we grow. Watch a child walk. They're falling most of the time. And then it's like they get this way, and it's like, I can't go that way, you get this way. And then finally they're able to navigate themselves up. Remember when you were driving a car? Or learning how to drive a car? Wow, all those things. And yet we learn, we adjust, we calculate, we bring it in, and then finally we get it. The sweet and the sour of life. It's how we begin to do that. And so here we all are at our own individual and collective crossroads. And the invitation is, what is luring you? Because if we live in a universe where everything is interconnected to everything else, and we can say that spiritually, or we can address that from a quantum field, it doesn't matter what language you look at or use, but if everything is interconnected to everything else, then everything in it matters, which means in your life, the life of your family, your tribe, your community, your nation, your planet, you matter. And all of us are feeding into this collective mind in some way by every response that we do. Think of something that's crazy going on in the world today that you're tracking. You're participating in that. You are. I am. Even whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, every time you go online and click, you're feeding something. Every time you go into a store and buy, you're feeding something. Every time you pay attention to something, whether you like it or not, you're feeding something. We're all doing it. Back in the 80s, I remember I was living through the AIDS crisis at the time, and I remember there was a book around, and it was called "You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought." And I can't think of a more I wonder if the book is probably still in print, but I can't think of a more appropriate title now. That none of us can afford the luxury of a negative thought. And that doesn't mean being, goofy and Pollyanna. It means being awake and paying attention to what we're paying attention to. And if it's working us up and bringing us to fear or getting us distracted from what is possible, then we need to stop paying attention to it and paying attention to other things like possibilities. And the biggest lie, it's one of the oldest lies, is, well, I don't matter. What's it to me? This global warming thing, this political thing, this economic thing, what does that have to do with me? What does my attention have to do? St. Teresa of Avila would address the same thing to her sisters. She would say, you guys need to go back to the kitchen and peel potatoes because you're not ready yet. Because your ego is in the way. As Emerson says, your bloated sense of nothingness is in the way if you're thinking in terms of, I matter or I don't matter. Of course you matter. Let it go and move on. Of course you matter. When you don't show up, it matters. When you are engaged, it matters. If you spend 5 minutes a day praying for the world, it matters. If you choose to be unconscious, it matters. You matter. And what you are attending to matters. Thomas Merton, good old Thomas Merton, says this. Set me free from the laziness that goes about disguised as activity when activity is not required of me. And from the cowardice that does what it is not demanded in order to escape sacrifice. In other words, we're so busy doing when maybe we should be praying. Or we're so busy doing something else that we should be paying attention to what we're paying attention to. Because every thought matters. And none of us can afford the luxury of a negative thought. Because when we are awake, we have agency. The truth will set you free. So let's pray on that. So let's just take this moment to open our heart and mind to that infinite presence, that infinite wisdom, that good that is luring us into the greatest experience of who we are. Let us be aware that this amazing thing called life desires the full expression of who we are. And that if we are open and curious to that, it will guide us. And so we bless this day in that consciousness, giving thanks, letting it be. And so it is. Thank you.
Thanks, Riff. Brilliant as always. Stardust and forces of attraction, that's all we are. Particles of matter that don't matter in time. But of all the places in this space you could want to be, your particles of matter keep running into mine. Worlds collide and you're by my side. From galaxy to galaxy and you're next to me. We could ponder the meaning, 'cause that's what people do. But I don't need our meaning, I mean as long as I'm here with you. Stardust and forces of attraction, that's all there is. Chaos and randomness and probability. But of all the places in this space I could want to see, it's your particles of matter that matter to me. Worlds collide and you're by my side. From galaxy to galaxy and you're next to me. We could ponder the meaning, 'cause that's what people do. But I don't need our meaning, I mean, as long as I'm with you. Stardust and forces of attraction, that's all we are. Thank you very much. I love that Thomas Merton stuff about the we all matter. That's brilliant. Yeah, so good. You know, you hear that cliche all the time, but that was put so well. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, because I forgot. So next Sunday, Reverend Jim Jones will be speaking. And I'd like to say, I'd like to say that his topic is going to be heretical, but we're non-dogmatic, so he can't be heretical. He can be engaging. So so it should be really good. I'm very excited that you're here. I love that you're in our community. I love that you're going to be speaking next Sunday. And I'm sorry I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to be speaking somewhere else. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, this is our time to exchange that energy called love. I'm going to tell you a short little story about prosperity. I walked into Walmart with cash to buy myself a big jug of carrot juice. And I was in line, and the cashier said I was $1.50 short. I said, how's that possible? I buy it here all the time. The price went up. So there was two teenagers standing next to me, and they said, we would like to pay her $1.50. And I went, what? What? They said, as long as you pay it forward. And they were about 17, 18 years old. And I went, yes, Dan Millman. Anyway, so I was so amazed, I didn't want to tell him I had more cash in the car. So I just let that be. But that made my day. I looked for people all day long to pay it forward to. And so let's hold that tithing next to your heart, knowing that as we pay it forward, this energy radiates throughout our community and on to that collective consciousness where everyone benefits from what we give. And that givingness flows through us so that we are also energized as we give. And isn't it a beautiful receiving when we give? With love and gratitude, I release to loving mind, and so it is.
Even those of you in the virtual world, you can send a prayer request into us, and we were happy to pray with you, and we'll reach out and contact you as well. And for those of you here, will the practitioners kind of stand and wave, and so people can see who you are? If you'd like prayer, one of these people is available for prayer today. Just go up one to them and say, "Could you please pray?" They're going to say yes. And then Laura will be doing a prayer circle in the Emerson room about 5 minutes after service. So you can go get some coffee that Terry is running out the door to prepare for us. Yeah. Yeah. See, if she was in the CrossFit and passed the restaurant, it would give us time to think. I know. No, I didn't mean that bad. I was. See, I should just shut up after I'm done talking. I didn't mean that in a bad way at all. I meant, I'm not going to try to save myself. I'll just take it. There I go, failing greatly. Love it. That's life. So thank you all for being here. Michelle and Jamie, thank you guys for being back down there. Our greeters today were Paul and Eve. Thank you for welcoming us all in, making us all feel happy. And our collectors there is Paul and Carol. I was going to get there. Carol, yeah. And I am so excited that this biohacking thing is going to be here. You guys, this is a cool thing. Talk to her. I'm doing this brain tapping thing, and it's amazing. Amazing. It really is amazing. So there you have it. So let's pray out. So again, just, Emerson says that prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. And to me, the facts of life bring me to that place of amazement and wonder of awe. The facts of life is this canopy of heaven that is above us, which is evidence of this remarkable, evolving, intelligent universe that we live in. As Teilhard said, we are evolution become intentional. That our intention is co-creating the awakening of all creation. And I know in no small way, this community gathering today, this time of joy, of song, of laughter, of thought, and all that is like a homeopathic treatment on the planet. It is rippling because our lives are rippling to the lives that we encounter today, that ripples out and ripples out and ripples out as we fully occupy the space that we are fully occupying. We bless it all in that good, giving thanks and letting it be, and so it is.
When I wake up in the morning, love, the sunlight melts my eyes. Something with that wanting love bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. I could use your help with the singing here. We got 3 regular lovely days and then 1 little high on. I love the day, 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 I love the day. Yeah. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Then I look at you, the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Yeah, yeah. Here we go, you ready? It's a lovely day, 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 a lovely day. Keep it going. A lovely day. A lovely day, 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 a lovely day. Happy Sunday. Have a lovely day, everybody. Much love.